Cardi B hits back at Candace Owens for wanting pornography ban. Okay, big story here, guys. I know a lot of you guys are sensitive with this, so just hang tight. Let's go through this. Here we go. Cardi B defended pornography after Candace Owens called for it to be banned, saying on Instagram, OMG, why y'all so against porn? Is it that bad for y'all? I enjoy it, but I don't know. I guess it's like a 6-time-a-year thing. I personally don't feel no connection or addiction to it, just a little quick 1 or 2. Nothing like real intimacy, she added. It actually should teach men how to please a woman. Okay, Candace Owens sparked the debate by tweeting, ban pornography, it's psychological weapon intended to weaken our men. Cardi B responded, challenging the idea and defending the potential educational value of pornography. Cardi B, who previously supported Joe Biden 2020 election, announced she won't be voting for Biden or Trump in the upcoming election, citing layers and layers of disappointment. Pete.
Well, I agree. I mean, I agree with Candace Owens on this. I don't see the upside of it. I see the way it wrecks young men. It's not going to happen. I do like what states are doing. I think what's the policy that Florida has pursued? You have to, is it age verification or something along the lines of you have to prove that you're over 21 or over 18 on any of these porn websites, and you have to use your real name and a real email or whatever it is to do it. And as a result, traffic has dropped by like 90% on a lot of these sites. I just think that's good for society. I think it's good for marriages. I think it's good for men. I think it's good for kids. I think it's good for women. I don't see a lot of good, and I don't say that as someone who's a Puritan in every way, but I agree with her.
I think, well, I mean, let's think about, you guys know what the oldest profession in the world is?
Hooking.
Prostitution. Yeah, for 1238. That's the. I mean, it goes way back. Tom, we know about this, but anyway, I think I don't watch it, but I could see, like, when it comes to prostitution and strip clubs and all that stuff. Think about those crazy guys that need that release, and if they don't get it from somewhere else, Pete, I think those guys are going to be out in the streets. They're going to be out looking for it. It's
always going to be available.
Oh, 100%. I don't think making it illegal, because I think some people who are overly sexualized and they have to, like, they need to watch that. I want those people watching it and not going out and trying to take it out on actual women. What do you think, Tom?
It does not surprise me that someone like Candace Owens, who represents herself as being a woman of class and a woman of moral fiber, is going to say this, and she's absolutely correct. It also doesn't surprise me that Cardi B, coming from the liberal entertainment industry, where no holds barred, and we go to Cannes every year for film festivals that push and push and push the bounds of what's acceptable or shocking or sexual, to have regular movies to being just an inch from porn. Does it surprise me that she says, oh, it's not a bad thing, and she's speaking like a 50-year-old married guy? Well, it's just 5 times a year or whatever. Yeah. It doesn't surprise me. So it doesn't surprise me that there's this debate here. And, I wish Cardi B could see the impact on the other side of the wall, because she's in the bubble. And she's in a bubble where entertainment and everything says, hey, this is okay, this is what it is, all things permissible. She's in a bubble. I wish she could see the other side and see a lot of the things, because we know Candace. And Candace is research-driven, and she comes from a moral foundation. And so it doesn't surprise me there's a debate here, and I just wish people in the bubble could see the facts and figures about what's happening on the other side, because there's a lot of human wreckage.
Well, Cardi B and Candace Owens are literal polar opposites. You couldn't have the moral fiber difference between the two of them. But I will say that I think that Cardi's actually right on this one. I'm not saying that she's in the right. I'm actually saying that there's a difference between what would actually happen and what you would love to happen. Idealistic thinking and reality. I also think that there's the probable and the improbable. Here's the reality. Porn's not going anywhere, as much as Candace wants to banish it away. Just like alcohol wasn't going anywhere during Prohibition, just like drugs aren't going anywhere, there's always going to be a black market for all this stuff. Good luck telling a 13-year-old kid who just saw boobs for the first time, yeah, bro, don't go look online. Okay, let's see how that happens. So, by the way, Cardi B, I literally think, was a sex worker that drugged men to steal their money at one point. Didn't
used to do it a bunch of times.
Yeah, exactly. That's her thing. But here's some stats for you. By the way, do you know that the porn industry generates more money combined than the NFL, NBA, and MLB. They make $97 billion a year. All the sports, all the athletes, everyone you're thinking of, they don't make as much money as the Lisa Anns of the world that's been here on the podcast. So 93% of boys and 62% of girls watch porn before turning 18. This is according to the Institute of Family Studies stats. 69% of men and 40% of women have watched porn this year. 44% of men and 11% of women have watched porn in the last month. And men in their 30s and 40s are most likely to watch porn, Vinny. But here's some good news.
I don't watch porn.
81% of women over 65 have never watched porn. So your grandma's probably not watching porn.
But Mike just sent it to me, PBD. Pornhub
Very
disabled its website in Texas after the Fifth Circuit Court appeals upheld the age verification requirement last. Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, and I think that's the larger point is, okay, yes, it will always be there. It's always going to be, somebody's going to be able to find it. There's no doubt. You don't put the genie back in the box. But if you can have common sense restrictions that prevent people who otherwise casually wouldn't do it or kids from doing it, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, we all remember when we were 13, 15, 17.
VHS.
Like,
I had one VHS.
If you got a Playboy magazine or, God forbid, a Hustler magazine, bro, it was like you were the coolest kid in school. But like that was a magazine. Now
So-
you just go on the internet.
so-
It's insane what these kids can get access.
I think, Pamela Anderson, Rob, if you can go to 15 seconds, go to 15 seconds. So Pamela Anderson is being interviewed here, and she's talking about porn, and she's talking about
Correct.
what it's like when she's out with men and what they do to her, and she's teaching her sons about sex and the dark side of porn. And by the way, when you think about Pamela, look what she says. You play this clip. Go ahead, watch this.
And I think we
why?
need a sensual revolution because in the age of technology, there's so much access, and I feel like people are becoming desensitized, and and they need multiple visual images that get weirder and stranger, and it's a big concern. I have children, and two teenage boys, and you have a child,
I have
and
a
it's
14-year-old boy.
It's worrisome when I talk to a lot of mothers, and I know I'm part of the problem. I should probably disqualify myself from this whole situation because I was in Playboy and I had a tape stolen from my home and exploited all over the world, and people saw things that they should have never seen. But I didn't think Playboy was pornographic.
No, and I
thought
think
it was-
people, I'm sure, will say, Pamela Anderson is saying, don't watch porn. Hang on, she
I'm
did
a romantic.
naked.
Have you ever been treated like a porn star in bed? It's no fun at all. Slapped, hit, called names, spit on.
Is that schmooly?
That's sex.
And have you experienced
I
that?
have, and I never want to have
Go back
that
10
happen again.
seconds, Rob.
Because I think that's sex at all.
Okay, go ahead.
Slapped,
Play.
hit, called names,
There it
spit
is.
on.
Why schmooly?
That's sex.
And have
these
you
days.
experienced
I
that?
have, and I never want to have that happen again because I think people also put that image on me thinking they have to be wild and crazy, and then I'm thinking, God, this porn addiction, when a woman who is, living, breathing, lying in bed and your husband's in the bathroom with a computer, there's something going on that's not normal.
I can't imagine any husband of yours being in the bathroom with a computer.
I mean, who has more moral authority to talk on this than
It's Pamela.
Pamela Anderson?
Yeah.
What do you think about what she said? What do you think about what she said?
I think how could she not be correct? I mean, of course she's correct in the distorting aspects of these types of things. What young men, I mean, I think about what I was exposed to. We all go through a learning curve, right? It's a learning curve of, you're deciphering squiggly lines, and then if your learning curve is explicit porn, and then you're with your girlfriend or your wife or your fiance, and that's your view of sex, of course it's going to be distorted. Of course you're going to do things you shouldn't. It's not going to be intimate the way that it ought be. She's right. And to your point earlier, what a great spokesman. The best spokesman for things are people you wouldn't expect to be a spokesman for it.
Yeah, if there's anybody who's qualified to speak on it, again, it's her to give that perspective. And by the way, I got boys, and I'm talking to these guys about this stuff all the time. Like, you'll go to a game, and you see 6 boys are at the baseball game. They're all like, one of the kids has a phone, and they're like, oh, that's coming, that's coming. I'm like, okay, I kind of get what the hell is going on. And so what do you think about what the stuff you guys are seeing? What do you think about this? And having that open conversation with them is key. If you don't have the conversation, that's the problem. You got to have the open conversation and break it down for them on what, you're going to be exposed to this.
Yeah.
You're going to be exposed to drugs. You're going to be exposed to cocaine. You're going to be exposed to weed. You're going to be exposed to all this stuff. But here's what you need to know about any of this stuff. You got any questions? And then giving them context and stuff to see, to be ready for it, because it's coming. No matter whether you like it or not, they're going to be exposed to all of this. Back in the days was a VHS.
And we all shared it.
In our Army unit, we had this guy in the corner. He was an E5. We walk in, and everyone's calling him the GOAT. I'm like, why is this guy the GOAT? He's just, guys, the GOAT is coming to our unit. The big 6'5" black guy comes in, and he talks like this. Hey, Vinny, how you doing? I'm good. He just talks very soft. So I'm like, what? Why did they call this guy the GOAT?
Yeah.
I'm trying to find out what this good. And then you go into this barracks in the corner that was only for E5s.
Yeah.
And you go in. And you see hundreds of VHS on top. He said, this guy's the greatest of all time. He's got the greatest porn collection of all time. What do you want?
Oh, my God.
What type?
Debbie does
What
that
this?
list.
He had everything. So
man.
guess what? The unit was like always going through it. But but today, it's not a VHS. Today, it's called this thing right here.
And then people spend, since COVID, astronomically way more time on their phone. The problem that young people are dealing with at this point since COVID is they don't know about IRL, in real life. And whether that's playing video games rather than getting outside and playing actual games, whether it's going on dating apps and rather than going on actual dates, or whether it's watching porn rather than going out there and actually meeting women, it's a pervasive problem.
By the
for
way,
young
not
people.
impact. I know you want to move on. Just, you want to talk about access? I don't know if you guys caught it. I almost shit my pants. I went to X to try to send him the video of the bulldog. I typed in on X, bulldog humping steering wheel, and I pushed enter, and it was gay porn. It was a guy with a bulldog mask. I swear to
Vinny, that was your previous.
He's going to go back. He's going to say, what did you think? Vinny watches gay porn.
During the show. During the
Did
show.
you see it?
Unbelievable.
He looked down when I was like, oh,
Vinny,
bulldog.
that was your previous history. Relax, bro.
No, what I'm saying
How
is
you doing, dog?
How easy it is. Like, people,
All right.
that's an accident. So if people, if a kid
Oh
can get on
my
X,
gosh. By the
it's
way,
over.
so guess what? For those of you that are part of the LGBTQ community, you can connect Vinny right there and ask him any questions you want. Now you know his porn appetite. Vault Conference is a conference we do once a year. This is our 5th official Vault Conference. The first one we did was in Dallas. 450 people showed up. This one's going to be 10,000. Last one we had 2,500 people at Palm Beach at the Diplomat, which we had Tom
Hollywood,
Brady at. Unbelievable event. 3 days, 3.5 days. 200-page manual, entrepreneurship, raising capital, PEs, VCs, executives, salespeople, consulting firms, 180 plus different industries. That was last year. And I told everybody last year, this year was going to be magical because we're doing it in Palm Beach Convention Center. AV is going to be magical. We've invested so much investments on back end for this event that's taking place in Palm Beach. And we have been trying to get together, me and this other guy that you guys probably know. Finally, we agreed to do this. He agreed to do this. He's all over the world. He's got a message he wants to tell you guys being at the Vault Conference. Rob, if you got the clip ready, go ahead and play this clip. Go ahead and play this.
Get out of here, dude.
Wayne "The Rock" Johnson here, man. I am pumped. I got some big news to share with you guys. I cannot wait to join all of you guys down there at the Vault Conference in Palm Beach, September 4th through the 7th. I'm going to be sitting down with your host and my good buddy, Patrick Bet David. We're going to chop it all up from leadership, entrepreneurial spirit, business strategy. We're going to chop up our journeys. We're going to chop up so much more, including all the various industries that we have been lucky and fortunate enough to build enterprise in. So I cannot wait. September 4th through the 7th, it's going to be a historic conference. I cannot wait. I will see you down there, Palm Beach. Back to work for me because the rent is always due.
The most electrifying man on earth will be at the Vault Conference. 3.5 days. And by the way, it's going to be absolutely insanity. We had a conversation over the weekend about the fact that, hey, everybody's been saying, hey, can we one of these days do podcasts together? So the first time we're going to do anything together, we'll be at the event, 90-minute conversation. And some of you guys may even get a chance to meet him, picture. Who knows? Who knows what things? There's going to be a lot of weird announcements we'll be making. Here's all I will tell you. This is not the last year, if you guys remember at the Vault Conference, how many husband and wives attended? It was hundreds of husband and wives. Some people brought their sons, like they were coming as a family, legacy planning. What do I do? Business partners. There's a couple people this year that are planning on bringing 100 people, their entire company, executive team, sales team. So it's going to be wild. Looking forward to it. This is not an event to come by yourself, but make sure you get yourself, your spouse, your business partner, your team registered to attend the Vault Conference, because I'm telling you right now, when this sells out and you call the consulting firm and they tell you we don't have any more tickets, you cannot be upset, because we're not bringing The Rock back next year. We're only going to do this one time at the Vault Conference, and I hope you get to join us. Get registered. We'll see you guys there.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.